Hello. In this clip of session 2, we are going to discuss very important rather concepts. There are two concepts which we are going to discuss. First is Bill of Rights and second is Bill of Responsibilities. An excellent software product results from a well-executed design based on excellent requirements. How well your requirements are, based on that, you can define the quality of the product. The excellent requirements results from the effective collaboration between developers and customers, in particular the actual users or the end users. Now, all stakeholders share a common objective, and the common objective is to build a product that provides adequate business value and rewards to all the stakeholders. Now, the business analyst typically is the point person who has to forge this collaborative partnership between the developers and the customers. Now, in this video, we will talk about two important concepts: Bill of Rights for software customers and Bill of Responsibilities for the software customers. And these two concepts are very important to have that collaboration between the developers and customers. The requirements Bill of Rights for software customers lists 10 expectations that customers can legitimately hold regarding their interactions with BAs and developers during the project's requirement engineering activities. Each of these list of 10 expectations, each of these rights implies a corresponding responsibility on the part of BAs, which creates a bill of responsibilities also. Now, throughout this video and the next few videos also, when I say you, the word you in the rights and responsibilities refers to a customer for a software development project. So when I say you, means a customer. As I have said, the flip side of the right is responsibility. When I say I have a right, it also comes with a responsibility. Responsibilities that the customer has towards the BAs, business analysts, and the developers during the requirement process. So this is a vague concept about the Bill of Rights and Bill of Responsibilities. Now I'll tell you some details about Bill of Rights and some details about Bill of Responsibilities in this video. And in the next video, we will look at the actual details, the 10 expectations which I have mentioned as part of Bill of Rights and as part of Bill of Responsibilities in next video. So today we are just going to discuss the concept of Bill of Rights and concept of Bill of Responsibilities. Now this table lists requirements Bill of Rights for software customers. As I have mentioned, there are 10 rights, 10 expectations that customers can expect when it comes to requirement issues. So I'll just give you some details about all 10 expectations one by one. The first one is, or you can say the right number one is to expect BAs to speak your language. So requirements discussion should center on your business needs and tasks using business vocabulary. So consider conveying business terminology to the BAs with a glossary of terms. Whatever terms, whatever concepts, whatever terminologies you are using in your domain, your business, in your organization, the BAs should be aware of that. You should not have to wade through technical jargons when talking with BAs. As I have said, I will give more details of all these things in next video. I'm just giving you a detailed or the explanation or the meaning of each rights. Now, right number 2 is to expect BAs to learn about your business and your objective. You can expect BAs, business analysts, to learn about your business. That is your right. You can expect that BA is aware of my business and what are my objectives. So by interacting with you to elicit requirements, the BAs can better understand your business tasks and how the system fits into your work. So this will help developers to create a solution that meet your needs, your expectations. So invite BAs and developers to observe what you and your colleagues do on the job. If the new system is replacing an existing one, the BA should use the current system as you use it. So BA should get a feel what the existing system is. This will show them how it fits into your workflow and where it can be improved. Don't just assume that BA will already know all about your business operations and terminology. You have to give more details, more explanation, and more data to them. Now, right number 3 is to expect BAs to record requirements in an appropriate form. That is your expectation, that whatever requirements I am giving, the BA should record those requirements in appropriate form, which is understood by all the parties, all the stakeholders. The BAs will sort through all the information that stakeholders provide and ask follow-up questions to distinguish user requirements from business rules or functional requirements, quality goals, and other items that BA will do. The ultimate deliverable from this analysis is a refined set of requirements stored in some appropriate form, such as software requirement specification document, SRS, or requirement management tool if you are using some software for that, some tool for that. This set of requirements constitutes the agreement among the stakeholders about the functions, qualities, and constraints of the product which is to be built. So the requirement should be written and organized in a way that you find easy to understand. Now the right number 4 is to receive explanations of requirements, practices, and deliverables. So various practices can make requirements development and management both effective and efficient, and requirements knowledge can be represented in a variety of forms. The BA should explain the practices he or she is recommending and explain what information goes into each deliverable. For instance, the BA might create some diagrams to complement the textual information. So these diagrams might be unfamiliar to you. The format of a diagram may be unfamiliar to you. And it can be complex also. The diagram can be complex in nature. If it is a class diagram or object diagram, which is easy to understand by a developer, but for customer it is very complex. But the notations should not be difficult to understand. Notation should be clear, the explanation should be clear, which is there should be there with the diagram. The BA should explain the purpose of each diagram and what are the meanings of all the symbols which are used in the diagram. And if the BA doesn't offer such explanation, then you should feel free to ask this explanation. Now the right number 5 is to change your requirements. You have a right to change your requirements. What you have told in the first meeting, you can change your requirement in second, third, fourth meeting also. Till the time you are not freezing the requirement document, it is allowed. It is your right. Because it is not realistic for BAs or developers to expect you to think all of your requirements upfront. Or it is not possible to expect those requirements to remain static throughout the discussions or throughout the meetings, development cycles. Requirements will change. You have the right to make changes in the requirements as the business evolves. As the team gathers more and more input from all the stakeholders, more discussions will happen, or as you think more carefully about what you need. However, changes always comes with a price. So sometimes adding a new function demands trade-offs with other functions or with the project's schedule or the budget or something else. An important part of the BA's responsibility is to assess, manage, and communicate the impact of these changes. So work with the business analyst on your project to agree on a simple but effective process for handling these changes, which is also called as change management process, which we'll discuss in further videos. Right number 6 is to expect an environment of mutual respect. So the relationship between customers and developers sometimes becomes adverse. So requirements discussion can be frustrating. If the participants don't understand each other, it becomes frustrating. The situation becomes adverse. Customers who participate in requirements development have the right to expect BAs and the developers to treat them with respect and to appreciate the time they are investing in the project success. Similarly, customers should demonstrate respect for the development team members also, as everyone collaborates towards their mutual objective of successful project. Everyone is on the same side. You should not create you versus them. It should not happen. Right number 7 is to hear ideas and alternatives for your requirements and for their solution. So let the BA know about ways that your existing system don't fit well with your business processes, to make sure that a new system doesn't automate the ineffective or obsolete processes. You should not repeat your mistake, which is not happening in your old system. It should not get repeated in your new system also. A BA can often suggest improvements in your business process. That is allowed. It is rather a creative BA also adds value by proposing new capabilities that customers haven't even envisioned or noticed. Because BA has handled the projects from similar domain or different domains and has worked on different other solutions also. So BA knows more ways to tackle the same problem in different situations. Right number 8 is to describe characteristics that will make the product easy to use. So you can expect the BAs to ask you about characteristics of the software that go beyond your functional needs. So these characteristics or quality attributes make the software easier or more pleasant to use, which lets user accomplish their task more efficiently or effectively. Users sometimes request that the product should be user-friendly or robust, but such terms are subjective, very vague. And there is no help to the developer if you just mention it should be user-friendly. You have to mention the specifications. Tell the BA about which aspects of your current applications seem user-friendly, so that BA can use your system and can understand what is your meaning of user-friendly. If you don't discuss these characteristics with BA, you will be lucky if the product comes out as you hope. Right number 9 is to hear about ways to adjust requirements to accelerate development through reuse. So requirements are often somewhat flexible. As we have discussed, the requirements will change. The BA might know of existing software components or requirements that come close to addressing some needs that you described. In such a case, the BA should suggest ways of modifying your requirements or avoiding unnecessary customizations so developers can reuse those components. So which are the features which are, or the quality attributes of the existing system can be used as it is again in the new system, if that is part of the new need also. Adjusting your requirements when sensible reuse opportunities are available can save a lot of time and money. And the last right number 10 is to receive a system that meets your functional needs and quality expectations. So this is the ultimate customer right. This is the ultimate right, final. But it can happen only if you clearly communicate all the information that will let developers build the right product. And if developers communicate all the options and constraints to you, so it's a two-way communication. It's a two-way responsibility. So be sure to state all your assumptions and expectations, otherwise the developers likely can't address them properly. Now, on this slide, we will discuss the counterpart. As the counterpart to right is a responsibility. So there are 10 responsibilities that customer representatives have when it comes to defining and managing the requirements for their projects. So responsibility number 1, as a customer, what is your responsibility? Responsibility number 1, to educate BAs and developers about your business. So the development team depends on you to educate them about your business concepts and to define the business jargons which you are using in your daily routine. The intent is not to transform BAs into business experts, but to help them to understand your problems and objectives. So business analysts are not likely to be aware of knowledge that you and your peers take for granted, because that you have achieved, that knowledge you have achieved because of working in that domain for number of days, number of years maybe. So BAs can have a basic knowledge, basic domain knowledge about that domain. Yeah, the case is different if you are talking to a consultant. Consultant is like a logical next step of BAs. When you will work as a BA in the industry for at least 8 to 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, then you become a consultant, because consultants have better knowledge about almost all domains in which they have worked. Now the responsibility number 2 is to dedicate the time that it takes to provide and clarify the requirements. As we know, customers are busy people. Those who are involved in requirements work, requirement creation, gathering work, are often among the busiest. Nonetheless, you have a responsibility to dedicate time to workshops, interviews, and other requirement elicitation, validation activities. Sometimes the BA might think he understands a point you made, only to realize later that he needs further clarification. That may happen. So please be patient with this iterative approach to developing and redefining the requirements. That will happen multiple times. It's the nature of complex human communication and a key to software success. Patience is the only way to have software success. Responsibility number 3, to be specific and precise when providing input about requirements. So it's tempting to leave the requirements vague and fuzzy, because pinning down details is a very tedious and time-consuming task. So someone must resolve the ambiguities and the complexities. Now you are the best person to make these decisions, that who is going to solve or resolve these ambiguities and complexities and the problems which BAs have or the development team have. So you are the best person to make these decisions. Otherwise, you are relying on the knowledge and the understanding of BA or developers to guess the requirements correctly. Sometimes or temporarily, you can include the markers like to be determined, TBD. You must have seen few documents where TBD is mentioned, to be determined, TBD, in the requirements section, to indicate that the additional exploration or information is needed and should be discussed in further meetings, next interaction, next contact point. Try to clarify the intent of each requirement so that the BA can express it accurately. And this is the best way to ensure that the product will meet your needs. Now, responsibility number 4 is to make timely decisions about requirements when asked. So the BA will ask you to make some decisions, or rather many decisions. So these includes resolving conflicting requests received from multiple customers, multiple stakeholders, multiple end users, choosing between the incompatible quality attributes and evaluating the accuracy of the information, a lot of other things. You have to make many decisions. Customers who are authorized to make such decisions must do this thing so promptly whenever asked. Developers often can't proceed with confidence until you render your decision. So time spent waiting for an answer to make a decision can delay the progress of the project. The business analysts are often skilled at helping people think to make some decisions. So ask for their help if you get stuck in case of any process. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions. Now, responsibility number 5 is to respect a developer's assessment of cost and feasibility of requirements. So all software functions have a cost. Nothing comes for free. Developers are in the best position to estimate these costs. So some features might not be technically feasible or might be surprisingly expensive to implement. So certain requirements might demand unachievable performance in the operating environment or require access to data that is not available to the system. So you should respect developers' judgment if it means you might not get something you asked for in exactly the form you envisioned. That may happen. That is possible. Sometimes you can rewrite the requirements in a way that makes them achievable or cheaper. Say, for example, I'll explain one small example for the situation. Asking for an action to take place immediately, instantaneously, may not be feasible. But a more precise timing requirement, something like if I say within 50 milliseconds or within 5 seconds, might be achievable. So you have to define your requirements correctly so that it becomes achievable for developer. Now, responsibility number 6 is to set realistic requirement priorities in collaboration with developers. So few projects have the time and resources to implement every bit of functionality that all customers want. Determining which capabilities are essential, which are useful, and which the customers can live without is an important part of requirement analysis. So you have a lead role in setting requirement priorities. Developers can provide information about the cost and the risk of each of the requirements. So when you establish realistic priorities, you help the developers deliver the maximum value at the lowest cost and at the right time. Collaborative prioritization is key for agile projects, so the developers can begin delivering useful softwares as quickly as possible. So respect the development team's judgment as to how much of the requested functionality they can complete within the available time and resource constraints. If everything you want doesn't fit in the project box, the decision makers will have to reduce the project scope based on the priorities. You may have to extend the schedule also, or provide additional funds or maybe additional resources people also. So simply declaring every requirement as high priority is neither realistic nor collaborative. That should not happen. Responsibility number 7 is to review requirements and evaluate prototypes. So validating the requirements with peer reviews of requirements are among the most powerful software quality activities. So having customers participate in reviews is a key way to evaluate whether the requirements demonstrate the desired characteristics of being complete, correct, and necessary. So it is very important that your solution should be complete, your solution should be correct, and it should have all the necessary things in it. A review is also an opportunity for customer representatives to assess how well the BA's work is meeting the project's needs. A BA or the BA should make requirements available to you for review in manageable chunks throughout the requirement elicitation process, and not in a massive document which is dumped on your desk when the requirements are done. That this is the final requirement list, please check it. No, even the reviews should happen in a phased manner. It's hard to develop a good picture of how software will work from written requirements alone. To better understand your needs and explore the best ways to satisfy them, BAs or developers sometimes build prototypes of the intended product. So your feedback on these preliminary, partial, or exploratory implementations, or we can say prototypes, provide valuable information to the developers. Now the requirement number 8 is to establish acceptance criteria. So whenever you will discuss, you will start making the requirement documents, you will review them, you will create a final document, but you should also define the acceptance criteria. How do developers know when they are done? How can they tell if the software they built will meet the expectations of the various customer communities or the stakeholders or the end users? So as a customer, one of your responsibility is to establish the acceptance criteria, predefined conditions that the products must satisfy to be judged as acceptable or not. Such criteria include acceptance test, which assess whether the product lets user perform the or certain of their important business operations correctly or not, or something like that. Agile projects rely heavily on acceptance test. So testers can judge whether a specified requirement was implemented correctly or not, but they don't always know exactly what you will consider as an acceptable outcome. So you have to define that acceptable outcome. Now, responsibility number 9 is to promptly communicate changes to the requirements. So continuously changing requirements pose a serious risk to the development team's ability to deliver a high quality product on schedule, on timeline. So changes, we know change is inevitable and often valuable also. So notify the BA as soon as you learn that you need a change in a requirement. To minimize the negative impact of change, follow the project's defined change control process, change management process. This ensures that requested changes are not lost, the impact of each change is analyzed, and all proposed changes are considered in a consistent way. As a result, the business stakeholders can make sound decisions to incorporate appropriate changes at the right stage of the project. The last responsibility, number 10, is to respect the requirements development process. So eliciting and specifying requirements are among the greatest challenges in the software development process. Although you might become frustrated, the time spent understanding the requirements is an excellent investment, but still you have to respect the requirement development process. The process will be less painful if you respect the techniques which are used by BA. Feel free to ask the business analyst to explain why they are requesting certain information or asking you to participate in some requirement related activities. Please feel free to ask the reason to BA. A mutual understanding of rather and respect for each other's approaches and needs goes a long way towards establishing an effective, perhaps even enjoyable collaboration, and that is a key factor for success of the software. So these are the 10 expectations from both the sides, which we can call them as bill of rights from customer or user side, and bill of responsibilities from the development side or developer side.